guys? Welcome back to the CGA show, Conspiracies, Gaming, and Anime. If you haven't checked out episode 1, it should be linked somewhere up here. And I highly suggest you check it out because we do explain the rules of this show. But since it is episode 2, I'll explain it one more time. So what we have here is that you can probably see on the screen a non-conventional dice roller, and for audio listeners, you can just Google online free dice and you can see it for yourselves. And also we have this little free wheelofnames.com little spinny wheel where we have the topics that we're going to be potentially talking about today. So the whole premise of this show is that we pick a number, and if our number gets closest on the dice roll, then that person is designated as the loser, and they'll have to speak today. And then they'll randomly get assigned a topic that the wheel spits out, and then they'll have to speak for at least start off the episode, and then we'll sort of jump in. And once again, I highly suggest that you watch episode 1 because there was a fantastic recommendation by Noah. And on to the hosts of the show. My name is Drew. That's Noah to my left here of the box, and there's Dom. So we're going to add one extra caveat to this, one little handicap, because we don't want our buddy Noah here to go again twice. So Noah, if your number does come up, if you are the closest, we'll do it by whether Dom or I are the closest. And Dom,
you're handicapping me.
Yeah, you're
handicapping me.
No, because for context, this man, we have. You know what? Let me just show.
We have 5 20-sided dice. He chose 7.
Which is perfectly legal to do.
It's not legal.
It is
illegal. We're making it illegal.
You cannot make it illegal.
We're making it legal.
You cannot.
No, we're making it illegal.
Why are you clipping my wings?
Why are you running from this? All right, boys.
Don't say that.
All right, boys. The dice is rolling right now, so let's hear your numbers.
Who's going first with the numbers? Because apparently I can't.
All right, fine. I'll go first.
Okay,
Okay,
go ahead.
Okay. I'll say 46.
I'm going to say 64.
Okay.
I'm going to say 99. You wouldn't let me choose a single number, so I'm doing that.
No, what did you say?
64.
What's the number?
We're gonna roll again at 64.
No way, it's 64.
Did I get it exact?
Yeah. That happened last time.
Send me to the casino, because I'm calling this shit left and right.
That happened last time too. You picked
you picked
30,
like 34.
34 and it was 35.
It was like 35.
Yeah.
No, what is going on? What do you know?
Send me to the casinos, guys. I'm waiting. I'm ready.
Okay, we're doing this again.
Should we just ban Noah from like voting this round? Like,
you know what? Noah, you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to vote.
You're just not allowed to speak right now. Okay.
Yeah. No, don't. You know what? Think of a number in your head, Noah.
Think of a number in your head and don't say it. Okay?
Don't say it out loud.
Okay.
Dom, you pick a number.
Okay. Can I pick the same number or I have to pick a different number? Okay.
You guys trying to circumvent the.
I have my number. I know what it is.
I already know mine too.
I'm gonna be a bitch. 64.
Okay. All right. I'll take 22 this time.
22.
Yeah.
Number.
It's 35, so I'm going this time. No, what was your number?
72.
Okay. Well, the house eventually wins. So
yeah.
All right. So next, on to the second part of this. Audio listeners, I'll just tell you what it is. Video watchers, you can see it on my screen. The spinny spin. Let's see what it comes up with. anime. Okay.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay.
All right. Okay. Let's talk about anime then.
spicy.
Sweet.
I actually wanted to talk about conspiracy because I actually had a really good one. But all right.
Did?
Okay.
Yeah, I also had a story written up for it too because like we're supposed to.
Oh,
Oh, sorry. Yeah, context for if this is your first time watching or listening. When it comes to the conspiracy topic, we have to tell it in a story format, and then the other two people have to try to guess if it's real or if it's just made up. And
Mm.
I mean, most of the time, most of the conspiracies are made up, but that's the fun of it. You try to pick something that's could be real. So,
Mm.
and for anime and gaming, pretty simple. Just explain what the anime or game is and try to convince the other two to either watch it or play it. And for anime, we also decided that we're not going to do the whole show. If it's seasonal, we're just going to go by the one season. So, or the first season that we've watched. And yeah, without further ado, the anime that I'm going to choose here, this one's tough because I'll be very honest, boys, I haven't been watching anime that much lately. So, you know what?
sacrilege.
I know it is sacrilege. I know. I've been playing games a little bit more, and thanks to you, know, I've been trying more indie games. Okay, so
Good.
Mm.
so I also had one for gaming, but of course the spinning gods were like, nope, you're gonna get the one that you haven't been paying attention to. So you know what? I'm gonna be a cop out here, but not really, but also yes. And the anime I'm gonna talk about is the one that everybody talks about, and
Oh, dear.
I think we all have strong opinions about
Mhm.
this one. Is we're gonna talk about the shortest anime in history is One Piece. So in particular, we're going to talk about one arc because we're not talking about the whole freaking show. Too long.
Yeah.
I'm just going to talk
Yeah.
about one particular arc that stood out to me that I thought was
Okay.
for a shonen was a masterful arc. Now I won't do any spoilers, not just yet. So for all of you who don't want to get spoiled by what I'm about to say, or since this arc is going to be a little bit into the future of the show, if you don't want to hear anything up until this point because you haven't watched it or read the manga, then feel free to hop off and hopefully you check out the first episode. But the arc that I want to talk about is Water 7. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with, I know Dom has no idea about anything about One Piece, but Noah, have you heard of Water?
I stopped reading after that Underwater Kingdom
Oh,
arc.
Fishman. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Okay,
think that was like chapter 3, 7 something or 6 something. Yeah, it was.
it would have been 600 something.
Yeah, 600 something. I stopped
Yeah.
around there. Yeah.
Okay, so Water 7 is one of the early, like a much earlier arc. Well, I won't say much
Okay.
earlier, but it's like I want to say like around 350-ish or 375-ish.
Okay.
And the reason why that one stood out to me is because of when we look at shonen, we often think that, you know, it's going to be mostly powers, it's going to be a lot of plot conveniences, a lot of plot armor for your characters, and you know, a lot of like friendship saves the day sort of things, right? And for sure, Water 7 has some of those moments towards the end
Mhm.
of it, but in the beginning, there's this huge mystery around one of their crewmates, and they've always been a mysterious figure. So the character is Robin. Dom, you might have seen some
Yeah, that's the
illicit,
dark-haired one.
illicit images.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
You've seen. Okay, good.
I've witnessed it. Yes.
Yes, perfect. Man of culture. So
Mm.
Robin is a very mysterious character up until this point of the series, and so I was always curious about her backstory, and they've always talked about how, you know, she's got this huge bounty since she was a child. Okay, great.
Mhm.
They don't say why. They don't really specify why. They just simply say she's dangerous, and so we start we start this arc off right off the bat with a huge, just banging, like a big sort of battle scene. It's not really a battle; it's more so a kind of a funny moment, but just to introduce a character, right? So
Mm.
so they introduced one of the admirals here, and this TLDR, the admirals are considered the strongest in the world for the Navy, who are technically the bad guys in this show. Um, and essentially, one of the three admirals is just, you don't want to mess with them in any given fight. If they're there, you're getting arrested or killed. So
Mm.
they come across one of the most powerful admirals, and he's just chilling on an island, because he
As
always,
one does.
as one does, and he's just there, just taking a nap, and he meets with the our sort of main crew here, right? So the main characters, Luffy, Zoro, the Straw Hat Pirates, and
Okay.
m- majority of them don't know who this is. They've never met because well, the strongest. Why would one of the strongest even be around the area of these pres- uh, presumably nobodies, right? Up until this point of the show.
Mm.
Right.
So the only person who actually recognizes this admiral is Robin, and for good reason, because there's something about her backstory that connects to that particular admiral. Before the admiral, when the admiral was still kind of working their way up the ladder, so to speak, and she basically has this visceral reaction that she's never had in the entire show. She's supposed to be calm, cool, collected. There's no scenario that sort of puts her over the edge.
Mm.
My girl, pisses her pants and literally
Like,
wants to run, like
oh,
flee
okay,
on sight. Like,
okay, so it's
let's,
like a
Yeah, okay.
figurative piss. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
not actually piss. Yeah,
Let's just do that.
Okay. Okay.
she might have. I'm
That'd
not
be a
really
bit
sure.
much for
For
a
a show.
children's
I don't
manga.
know.
A
man.
children,
I
yeah,
never
yeah.
watched One Piece. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. So that got me intrigued, but then again, this is also a shonen trope, like, oh, really big, powerful enemy or whatever, right? Let's be scared. And much like most characters in One Piece, they have a particular quirkiness to them, and this
Okay.
admiral sort of lives on the line. They're not necessarily, they're kind of like a gray hero. Let's just say that they,
Okay.
they're not
Gray Jedi.
a gray Jedi. Yeah,
Mm.
they might kill the pirate or two for their job, but at the same time, they won't arrest you for jaywalking. So
Yeah.
you know
We
what I
got
mean.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
We got
Yeah.
basically Qui-Gon Jinn with ridiculous powers. So, in case people are not familiar with the One Piece powers, essentially you can either eat these fruits that give you powers, but you can no longer swim, or you gain these other abilities, which through intense training you can do superhuman acts. So
Mm.
that's the long and short of it. It gets much deeper. You can Google that for yourselves. But
Mm. Mm. I don't eat fruit, so I guess I'll do the other way.
yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be swimming.
Wait. You don't eat fruit?
Not by choice. No.
Not by choice. You're just
No.
a sugar maniac? You go for muffins and stuff?
Dude, I eat steaks. You know this.
He
You
eats
know I
just
eat
meat.
steaks. Meat. I'm a carnivore. So
Do you like vegetables?
No, you shouldn't ask
I
me
can't
that.
let this pass.
vegetables.
Wait.
He asked me if I eat vegetables.
Okay, so we'll take a timeout here to explain Daham's choice in foods.
Wait.
So
How has this never come up in conversation?
because we never did our top foods episode before with you.
Yeah.
We did with Chaffee, so yeah.
Okay.
So this never would have been brought up. Yeah.
Sorry, we have to do this aside. What? No fruit. Do you like bread? Like, where? What? I'm so confused.
No,
I'm confused. I'm confused right now, G.
He's gonna learn some things.
Yeah, no, in about 11 months from now, you're gonna learn some things about him. You're gonna be extremely shocked by what he eats, and usually how much he eats, because it's
okay.
He doesn't eat like a gluttonous amount, but if it's meat, he'll certainly consume quite a bit of it.
Okay. There was a point where I thought I had scurvy. Let's just say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know how you get scurvy.
So I had a roommate in university who was on a carnivore diet, and
Mm.
the other roommate and our favorite joke was that, oh, we should just slip some lemon zest into your spice things because you'll get fucking scurvy.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently, we have another individual who has that same issue. You use lemon zest, sir.
I mean, I,
Do
Do
you
we get
use
some
lemon
lime
zest, sir?
salt?
Do you?
I have lemon pepper, I guess. That's the seasoning I have.
Okay.
It exists in my house. That's one thing.
Okay. If
Okay,
it's
please
any
go on.
if it's any sort of consolation, I did promise to teach him a few vegetable dishes that he will certainly enjoy. He's very skeptical
Okay.
about it, but I'm
Mm.
certain that he will like these vegetable dishes. At the very
Okay,
least.
sorry, I just couldn't let that go. Keep going on to the anime, but
It is shocking. It is
it
shocking.
concerns me, Dom.
It concerns a lot of people.
Take some Flintstone vitamins or something. Like
you'll see.
in your protein shakes, just put some Vital Greens or something. Just
Oh,
please.
AG1, if you're listening to this, we would very much like a sponsorship. So.
Yeah.
Just for one man. All right, back to the Water 7. So this man has powers that allow him to control ice. So he's not really affected by the water because he never really takes a dip in it. He just freezes everything that he touches, and that's insane when you think about he's freezing the ocean. Just think about the fact that anytime he walks to most of his locations, and keep in mind this is island from island, so he's walking to most places, or he's using his little he has this cute bike that he likes to ride, and he just freezes everything. And when you think about it, when you think about how much water there is, and the fact that he is just freezing it there seems to be no cap onto his abilities, at least. Everybody else seems to have a limit to how much they can do, but he doesn't. So I fully understand why he's scary. But
Yeah.
What intrigued me about this start to the arc was that he actually decides to help our crew because there's also on that island there are these rich folks who are stranded, and the rich folks are obviously scared of pirates, and they take the help of the Navy, right? In our case here, our pirate main crew is, they're good people, so they decide to help. And so when the Admiral guy sees this, like I said, he's kind of on the line. Like you said, Qui-Gon, great Jedi.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, well, I see you helping them. I'll help you help them, sort of thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and but then he does a little plot twist at the end where he's like, you know what? Now that we've helped them, I kind of want to test how strong you guys are, because he basically says this line, and I don't remember word for word, but I thought it was a pretty cool line. He's like, I could just beat you. Like, why? Like, and he does. He single-handedly crushes all of them, which I love to see, because in most shonens it would be some sort of somebody would come flying out of nowhere to save them, right?
Yeah.
Nobody came to save them. He literally just said, wait a sec. He had that moment, and he's like, hold up. I am 4 trillion times stronger than all of you combined, so let me just do my job. So, he stops at killing our main characters simply for the fact that he's very whimsical. He's like, I kind of want to see if they do survive, if they could actually kill me. So, and so he gets on his little bike, and he rides along the ocean like the badass that he is. And that's how we start this arc. And I was like, okay, you have me hooked. All right, give me what's next. So the reason they're going to Water 7, premise is very simple. Water 7 is known as the holy mecca of shipbuilders, and currently right now their ship has a broken hull, and so they need a new ship. They can't fix the hull, and so they're like, all right, well, Water 7's the logical place to go to get a new ship. And then, but the problem is that this ship was gifted to them from way back in beginning of the show, and it was a
Yeah.
gift from a precious friend of one of their crewmates,
Mm-hmm.
and this one crewmate would be the equivalent to like one of your boys, right? And so, so if one of your boys came up to you and said, "Hey, we can't just discard this gift from my friend. Like it's got us through. Let's just say we went on our own adventures. It got us through 5-6 adventures. We can't just we can't just scrap it, right?
Sentimental value.
Sentimental value, right? So I'm here sitting and thinking, like, yeah, it's a shonen. They're probably gonna somehow manage to fix the fucking spine of the ship, even though that's impossible, right?
Yeah.
Well, I ate some crow there because the captain Luffy just said, "No, we're getting a new ship." I fully understand. Like, you're one of my boys. I fully get it. I get that one of your closest friends gave you this, but we literally cannot fix the unfixable. So so either get over it, or we're not having this discussion again, right? So that kind of surprised me because even though our main character here was feeling bad about the whole situation, they ultimately understood that, listen, we still, like, we're pirates. We need a freaking ship. So so I can't.
Like, he's normally a pretty spineless character, but this is where he stood his ground.
Well, like his boy is mostly a spineless character. That's his whole character trait. And that character's name is Usopp, and he's often the coward of the group, right? But this is the one time he decides, I'm going to stand up for myself, and it's standing up to his I would say his best friend on the ship, which is the captain.
Yeah, it's captain. Yeah.
And so he's like, no, I'm not moving away from this. We're using this ship, and then they get into a heated argument, and essentially what happens is that the captain just says, okay, well then if you don't want to be part of the crew, right, then get off my ship. Now these are words that you don't say to your closest friends, right?
No.
And then he realized what he just said was stepping over the line. So another one of the crewmates just punches the captain in the face because saying, "Hey, you can't say shit like that," right?
Yeah.
And he realizes it, and before he could apologize, our main boy Usopp here says, "Okay, fine, I'm leaving," right? He's like, but I'm gonna battle you for the ship because the pirate rules, or whatever, the pirate laws are that if I beat you, I can take your ship. And he's like, I'm not budging from this, right? And then they're both heated in this moment, so it gets even more heated, and they're both like, okay, fine, I'll fight you at 10 p.m. on the dot. Because it's I think the whole point of it was that they both had to prepare for the fight, whereas mostly Usopp had to prepare for the fight.
Because he's like a strategist type character.
Yeah, he's like strategy, and he's a sniper. And the captain is a brawler. So so it's like there's no strategy; he just comes and kicks your ass, right?
Yeah.
But what I liked about that whole fight that happened later on is that Usopp gets his ass kicked, completely beaten, right? And both characters are sort of like, doing the manly cry, which is like they're not trying to cry, but they are crying, sort of thing. Because like it's like you're beating up one of your boys, like you're one of your best buds, and you don't want to, but this is one of those honor things that you have to, right? So that's not the part that really got me. It was more so, I'm like, okay, it's trending back to the more shonen-esque things. No, the part that got me was that a line where Luffy says that, like, why did you even come here? You couldn't beat me. And then Usopp says, I know I couldn't beat you, but that shit means more to me than anything you could even imagine, right? So even though I knew I was gonna get my ass kicked today, I still had to fight you for that ship, right? And so when you hear that, what are you gonna do, right? At that point, you're just like, fuck, right? So all Luffy says is like, okay, fine, I lost. You can have the ship, even though he fully kicked his ass.
Yeah.
And so he's like you can't. There's nothing you can say to that, right? It's like, yeah, you clearly want this. You came here even though you're gonna lose. You know what? Fine. Like, I surrender. You can have it. Right? Their friendship ends there. The ship the old ship with all the memories gets taken back, And then you can kind of see the crew is broken up and they're a bit down, right? So
Right.
I'm liking this from the standpoint that I don't usually see this in shonen. It's always like friendship saves the day, right?
Yeah.
Or some other character will come and save the day. And up until this arc, there have been moments in One Piece where that's happened. But this one, and why I'm speaking on this particularly, is because this is where it was, oh shit, it hasn't happened yet. Where like
Yeah.
I'm fully expecting like the friendship is gonna save the day. Where is it, right?
Yeah.
But because this is like 100 episode arc, so it's like it's like 200 chapters long.
You got a lot of friendship coming.
Well, there's the TLDR of it is that there's a lot of moving parts here, which comes together. A lot of pride has to be swallowed by all the characters, and this is the one
Right.
arc where I like the actual villains, because the villains are essentially assassins who don't give a shit. And what I like about
Okay.
it is that most shonens, you get an assassin character, and we've all been there watching an anime where we're like, why isn't the assassin assassinating, right? Like, why are they not
Right. Yeah.
doing the thing that you told me? Like, you told me this guy like killed the whole country. Why can't he beat this dude, right?
Yes.
This is one of those arcs where, again, I had to eat crow because the assassins pretty much all like kill everybody that comes in their way. The only reason they couldn't kill Luffy is because he's a rubber man. You can't,
You take it like
yeah,
yeah.
they basically beat him into submission, and then essentially just they had a great plan. They're like, okay, well, we can't really kill you, so they just threw him into the water because they knew his powers don't work there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I really like that, simply for the fact that they're assassins. They're doing assassiny things, right? And they do that with the whole crew. And then here's the great plot twist here. Robin is working for them, and
She's an assassin?
she works for this assassin group. And the only reason she works for this assassin group, TLDR, because we don't have enough time to explain the whole arc, is that her entire family, her entire nation got destroyed because they were a nation of knowledge, and knowledge is power, and the world government and the Navy didn't want that, so they essentially nuked them all, and there was only one survivor of that, and it was her. And because she has all the knowledge that was given to her by the people who were left on the island, they deemed her as the most dangerous person alive. So because she's knowledgeable, hence she's dangerous. And the person who actually let her go that day was our admiral boy, because he had a chance to just kill her right there, and he didn't. And he because he didn't understand why they were even doing this, and he also didn't understand why he needed to kill a child. So he's like, I'm not doing that. So he let her go, and he basically he told her that I'm going to make a bet. I'm going to see what you become when you're an adult, right? Just like the same thing, he made a bet when he didn't kill the main crew, and if they lose the bet, he'll kill them. So, so essentially, we come to find out that this entire assassin group has been carrying out missions here and there for the world government in secret, as an assassin group does. And one of the coolest moments, and this is towards the end, so this is certainly, well, this whole thing has been a spoiler, so I did say you can click off.
You did say it.
What they do, which is really cool, is that our main boy Usopp rejoins the crew, but under a different alias. Everybody but the captain can see he's under a different alias, because Luffy's a little bit dumb, right? Yeah, he's a little bit on the spectrum. So so he doesn't realize that it's Usopp in a different costume, right? And Usopp calls himself the Sniper King, and he's the sniper on Luffy's ship. So he never put those two together. Well, one of the coolest things I thought in that moment was, you know how flags are very important, right? We always talk like you see how people go into riots for, if you stepped on my flag,
Step on my flag, that's it.
Even though it doesn't mean shit towards the end. So when the assassin group is like, listen, you guys can't beat us. Like, we already kicked your ass once. This time we're actually going to kill you. We're going to make sure we kill you, right? Our main crew says, well, Luffy says to Usopp, who he doesn't even know that's Usopp, says, "I want you to shoot their flag, and I
Ooh.
want you to burn it to a crisp, right?"
Mm.
And so they shoot the world government flag, and before the assassin group could even say anything, Luffy's like, "Yeah, I know what that means.
Yeah.
We declared a
That's
war
war
on the world government."
on the world government.
And I was like,
That sounds fun.
"Yo, you know what? That's hard. Let's do
Yeah.
this. Let's fight." At that moment, I was cheering for them. I was like, let's fight the world government together, right? So long story short, they do eventually save Robin, because she's been doing all of, like, she's been working for the assassin group simply for the fact that, well, you can't really be killed if you're working for your killers, sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, because she has certain things that they want, so if they kill her, they'll never get it. And so she's like, "Okay, well, I'll help you get that. Just don't kill me." And now she's finally found a group where she wants to be with, but she can't because, like, you just saw them get their asses kicked. So,
Yeah.
so these guys, what I do like in this arc, as well, is from a shonen power standpoint, um, they come up with new moves that they see the assassins do. So they're like, "Oh, you do that? I want to try it too." And they kind of fuck up in the beginning because obviously they're just trying it. But then,
Yeah.
but then, it's mostly a battle of perseverance more than anything else. Because the assassins are always like, we go there, we kill, we get out, right? It's not a battle of attrition. It's
It's not
literally
nutrition. Yeah.
quick and
yeah.
go, right? But these guys
Yeah.
are like, these guys keep getting back up, and for the most part, they were almost dead. And one of the coolest moments towards the end of this, after they save her, is that they get saved by, remember the broken ship? So
Yeah.
so the broken ship was tossed out to sea because, well, there's nothing else to do.
Nothing else to do with it. Yeah.
And somehow it managed to make its way to that prison area, and they were able to
Yeah.
escape one last time on the broken ship before it completely,
Before it sunk into the ocean.
they decided to put it on
Mm.
fire. I think that's the traditional
Ooh,
pirate.
Viking.
I think that's a traditional pirate way. Like, I think they
That's
burned
kind
it.
of like the Viking
The Viking
funeral.
burials.
Yeah,
do that
Viking
too, right?
burials. Yeah. So I thought
Yeah.
that was a pretty cool way. And this entire like debacle by the assassins and the world government was reported. So our admiral boy from the beginning came back towards the end, and he met with Robin in secret and said that you know what, I actually never liked those assassin guys. So good work, and they just left.
Mm.
So.
If I remember, this is also where their bounties increase like tenfold.
Yeah, so this is
Imagine.
this is actually the first time each of them got a bounty. So,
Yeah.
so in the beginning of the show,
Because
it was
before it was just Luffy.
Luffy and Zoro were the only two with a bounty.
Luffy and Zoro, yeah.
Yeah.
Now all of them have it because they're like known by the world.
Known by the
Yeah,
world
I mean,
now. Yeah, because
It
they
started
literally
the war, so yeah.
declared a war. So it was really cool because nobody in the world government really knew them. Because, like, how do you know every single pleb that's out there, right? But now these guys quite literally burnt their flag to the ground.
Yeah.
And so it was a hard moment because I'm like, yo, you guys have no business fighting these guys. So, and you almost lost too. So
Yeah.
and that's the only reason why I wanted to highlight this arc in particular, because all the other arcs, I'm like, it's shonen. If you're not really into shonen,
it also leads into some of the best arcs in the entire series.
It does. And this might be a hot take only because I'm on chapter 720, but and One Piece fans, don't kill me for this. I'm starting to grow and like the show and the manga and everything, but the early parts of One Piece were greater. I found them funnier. I found them, I don't know, there's a charm about them. So,
Yeah.
But now, not that there's no charm, I just don't laugh as much as I used to. So, if any One Piece fans are watching or listening, let me know in the comments if I'm right or stupid or both. So, but yeah, this I would say, if I was to ever pitch One Piece to anybody, this is the arc that I would pitch them with, even though it has massive spoilers.
Yeah.
Because it takes a while to get to. So
Mm.
I fully understand if you guys aren't on board with trying to catch up to this arc. So, but I will say that this arc is probably one of the best written arcs, and just in anime in general, like not just for shonen, just from a writing standpoint, like character development, um, you know, plot armor not really being existent for most of this. Like there are some cases here and there, and just good motivations for everybody involved.
Right.
On top of it, it's also really cool that in the anime they got the voice actors to sing the opening. Or
Mhm.
I thought that was cool.
Okay,
So
that's pretty cool, actually. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
that's rare.
That's rare. I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know I haven't convinced you guys, but what do you think?
So do you mind if I go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I remember reading this,
Mhm.
and it didn't strike me as a very poignant part, but you highlighting those points, I'm like, oh yeah, because I just kind of saw it as filler to get to the next place, which that's a lot of the series.
There's
But
a lot. There's a
also,
lot of filler.
I
Yeah.
read this maybe 10-ish years ago.
Yeah.
So
I read
it's
this
been
quite recently, so that's why
yeah,
I
yeah.
have it in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, so like my whole thoughts have changed everything because I read this when I was a teenager.
Mhm.
Yeah, I definitely see it, and like reason why I said the comments like, "Oh, this leads into some of the best arcs," because this is like a turning point where it was happy-go-lucky, and then all of a sudden, not so.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like for all of this time, it was just them getting their initial crew
Yeah.
and
It was,
the
yeah.
arcs that lead up to it.
Mhm.
Because this is still very early in the series, like the chapter 320 or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
You'll if you're like a netizen, you'll probably recognize some of the frames from this, because this is like where you see the big Usopp cry
Yeah. Yeah.
scene. That's
Yeah.
like it. So I have fond memories of this time. Makes me kind of want to go back. I don't know if I'd watch the show, but I'd probably
No.
reread.
No, just
Uh,
this. Like honestly, I sometimes. So for listeners and watchers who haven't seen the Bunch of Whales, which is our podcast, I'm also writing a book. So this is an arc in One Piece that I sometimes like to go back to a little bit, just to look at some plot points here and there, because I genuinely think it's a lot darker than the rest of the series. And you kind of highlighted it was really happy go lucky for mostly up until this point, and then this sort of just turned it on its head. Yeah, the crying moment from Usopp.
yeah.
The whole flag burning scene was so cool to me.
Mhm.
I'm just like, yeah. Could you imagine going up to like a company you hated and just
Mhm.
burnt their like
Like,
logo or something? I don't know.
I feel a lot of people look at One Piece as a big epic. They have to start and finish it,
Yeah.
where you can kind of just go into it with a basic synopsis of what happened before and then just kind of jump in.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in reading or watching this, you could go through just a plot summary of each of the arcs before it and then kind of jump in and see what it's about, because not saying that everything that happened before wasn't good. It's just it is a big undertaking. So like you're at episode like 200 something. That's 20 minutes per episode. That's a lot of time to devote to get to where that is.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in this, go tons of fan sites to summarize arcs, and then you just get to this one. And I looked, it's only 50 chapters, 4 volumes.
Yeah.
So that's 4 books of manga. It's not so bad to get into. I always suggest reading the manga because it's faster.
Yeah.
Than just watching the show, because you can speed through everything. It's a bit more approachable, I think. And
the other thing you mentioned, fillers, because there are fillers throughout
fillers.
this entire arc as well.
Yeah.
So
because that was what I was gonna say was my concern, right? Is like, as someone who's not really watched One Piece apart from like you see clips here and there.
Yeah.
Like to get to that point, because as you know, for me, like when I enjoy anime the most is when it's more the
12
darker
episodes.
themes, right? Like I
Yeah.
like to have those, those like those
Yeah.
like one season I can binge it, but like I
Yeah.
prefer watching animes that have a darker tone. Not to say
Yeah.
that I don't watch like shonen types, because I do. Like I watch like the fairy tales, Bleach, like
Yeah.
those ones. But like you were saying, Drew, like there's always that element of, yeah, no matter how bad it gets, there's gonna be something, there's gonna be someone that comes in and
Mhm.
saves the day, right?
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of the times my favorite animes are ones that have that element of, no, not quite.
Mm-hmm.
There's still that element that says, hey, nah, things don't always work out the way you think they're going to work out. So
Mhm.
when there's that little dark turn, even in a shonen like this, like that would interest me more. So like I
Mhm.
would say like that arc I would probably enjoy more than the regular arcs that have the more kind of shonen tropes in it.
Yeah.
Because I love that. Like for me, I say I love, it's a love hate, because obviously like
Mhm.
you have a character you love, and if you see things not going their way, it's like, ooh,
Yeah.
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 like you know how it is, right? Akami got killed, like
Yeah.
no, Chelsea,
Mhm.
no, Chelsea, no.
Yeah.
But like
That scene still,
it,
like, I can see it in my head.
still,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and even fairy tale, like fairy tale is a lot of like, you know, it's no matter what, no matter how
Mhm.
bad it looks, it's always gonna work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, okay, sometimes it's like I'll put it down and I'll just leave it for a bit, because I need some darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if this has that, I'll like it.
Yeah, and that's the only reason why I wanted to highlight this arc, because I've been trying to catch up to One Piece. 'Cause I sort of said it as a joke once, I think, on Bunch of Whales, and then
Yeah.
and then I was called out by someone at work, like, you should actually catch up to it. I was like, all right, you know what, fuck it, I can do it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I started catching up, and like, I think the first time I tried One Piece was same as when I was a teenager, and I didn't
Yeah.
quite like it then. But now that I've consumed almost every type of anime genre and enough anime, this is like it was a little bit refreshing to watch a shonen like this again, and I understand a bit better why people like it so much. But
Mhm.
for sure, just like I think all three of us, we all love dark anime. That's probably our
Yeah.
number one. I didn't really like, nothing got me out of my seat hyped up as much as this particular arc, and that's why I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about this one. Like, there are great fight scenes that we could talk about, but all shonens have great fight scenes.
Like
Yeah.
I would probably
Yeah.
compare that arc to in Dragon Ball when you first encounter Cell.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Actually, that's a good one.
Oh yeah, so
That's kind of how I
vibed them.
felt. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
before it was always like, oh, you're getting up, and then you get wiped. And then you
Yeah.
have to build up from there. It's still early on in the series, but then that's when the big power jumps start happening.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
realize what they're doing isn't working for them.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
yeah,
And you know what it also kind of reminds me of as well, like the arc in My Hero Academia where Deku is basically like, I know it's not, but
Sorry,
you know what
know
I'm talking
my
about,
thoughts
right?
on
yeah.
My Hero, but go ahead.
But
Watch
like
watch our
like
podcast. You'll see his
Yeah.
thoughts.
but like at least there's a point in there where like it's just like he's just like in a point where none of his friends can get through to him, and it's
Yeah.
just like he's just in that like rot, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I like this. I like
Oh,
when
yeah, Dark Deku. I remember that. Yeah,
yeah,
that
I
was
like I
actually pretty
prefer
cool.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I do like when, like, now every shonen does this, like, dark phase, but most
Yeah.
shonens ham it up a little bit. Like, they're like
Mhm.
it's like their obligatory dark phase that they
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
have to do. But I felt with Water 7, it wasn't obligatory; it just sort of came out of nowhere, and it was being built up through one of their characters, and a few things dropped here and there on this, from a story standpoint. So
Yeah.
when it actually came to fruition that this is the main point of this arc, I was genuinely surprised, and this, I'm sure a lot of the One Piece fans might say this, this also has crazy power ups too, because this is the first time this is the first arc where Luffy gets his gear too. And
Yeah.
what I would say to that is that he learns his gear too from watching like how his adversaries have been fighting him, and
Yeah.
he sort of learns like, okay, maybe I can do a makeshift thing here by learning what they're doing. I can't master it, which is exactly what he says. He just says, I'll try it, right? So I thought it was I thought it was a good arc to show, like, almost show a human side to it, like where shonens
Yeah.
really don't have that side. Like, you know, for example, you've all done combat sports, and let's say you've got your ass kicked by somebody, and you're like, huh, I kind of want to know how they do that, right? And let's say you practice and you learn, but you know, your very next fight, which is again against them, but it's too soon for you to have mastered that technique, right? So you would use it, but it would be imperfect. Yeah, improperly, and it would be imperfect, but at the same time, it would catch the opponent off guard, right? They're like, oh shit, I didn't realize that you could do that too. And that's that happens for a couple of our characters here in this arc, where they tried the thing that the other person already knows. And I was like, you know, that's kind of that's a little humanistic there.
You know, that's a very relatable thing. I remember an exact moment, like I was sparring against my team captain, and he's really good at bending the blade to hit you in the back and sides and stuff.
Right.
I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. And first time I tried it, it was like not so good. Second and third time, I was doing it better than him, and he was like, I didn't know you could do that.
See, that's exactly what I mean.
Relatable.
Yeah. And so I was like, these are the small moments that I really like in the in this arc. And one thing that I didn't even mention was that they introduced this concept in the show called a buster call, which basically is just it's just a nuke. It's like Oppenheimer, right? It's if it's called upon, there's nothing you can do. Everybody's scared, and it's seldom called upon because of how how critical and how devastating it is. And a buster call was used to destroy all of Robin's her country. Like, they literally destroyed her entire people through a buster call, right? So what was really cool is that at the end of this arc, the person who had the nuclear button, it's literally a detonator, accidentally pressed it. They didn't mean to press it. They accidentally pressed it. It was done as a joke, and it was funny, but then right after that, they show the severity of it. and so they accidentally did a buster call, and like, you just start to see all these Navy warships coming in range and like just blasting the place, like with no like there's no mercy when there's a buster call, right? Like, whoever's there is getting caught up in it, whether you're
done.
Right. So I thought that was a really cool concept to throw in there. Not anything original, but it was cool to see that the characters reacted to something very severely, and then when you see that actual thing happening, it was as severe as they reacted to.
Yeah.
Whereas like with shonen, it's never as severe. Like, somebody could be a master of like 8,000 years and they get their ass whooped in like 2 minutes.
I always hated that, because like sometimes they would hype up like a villain and be like, this villain is so powerful, like he's been trapped away for like you said, like 8,000 years, and he's so powerful, and then somehow, you know, he comes out and it's like underwhelming considering how much you hyped him up. So I'm like, if he's that powerful that he had to be locked away, meaning you couldn't even kill him, you're telling me like this kid who like just a couple episodes got his ass handed by him, like the most ridiculous character, can just beat this thing?
Colossus Titan.
You know,
right?
Thank you.
You know what?
It's insane.
Yeah, like I feel like you've convinced me, Drew, to check it out again. Because it's been 10 years since I've seen One Piece content before. But it reminds me that it's leading into all of the things that people say are the best part of the series. So it gives me a reason to just brush up, I guess.
Okay. All right. I got one convinced. What about you?
I would say I am on the fence, because the arc, like the arc itself, I would say yes to.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea of
The undertaking.
the undertaking, because
Undertaking,
I know what you're saying, Noah. You could just get a synopsis and jump in.
Yeah.
But like, I have to watch like I would have to watch it.
Yeah, because
before I get to
you want the pretext.
You want all the
I
context.
want
Yeah.
all the context.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
just how I am. Like
Fair.
with like it would be difficult for me to just jump in like mid arc
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
So that's why I'm on the fence. Arc itself, like content, yes.
Okay.
But undertaking is the offset to that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, so I have to rate the show now.
Mm.
I'm gonna use your scale, Noah.
That logarithmic,
mm.
yeah.
Yeah. So this arc, obviously, for me is a 9.5 out of 10. But the entire show, to me, is more of a 6.8. Now, that's if you go back to episode 1 and go towards the end of the episode, Noah explains why it's a pretty high score. You know, don't come and flame us because we gave One Piece a 6.8. It's not a bad score.
So for reference, that means that it is 80 times better than a 6.
Right.
Okay.
80 times better than a 6. So
okay.
So keep in mind when I gave this arc a 9.5, I'm saying it's really, 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 really good compared to most things within this genre. Whereas the entire show itself, I'm grading it out based off of where I'm at right now, which is close to Dressrosa, or in Dressrosa actually. So I know I'm pretty far away from wherever everyone else is in One Piece, but the rest of the show, 6.8, still good. Managed to get, we'll say 1 out of 2. I was gonna say 1.5, but it's more 1 out of 2 convinced. But that's actually it for this episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed that and check out episode 1.